Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome. This is the Rockaway Creates podcast. And I am here with Dana and the infamous Elsie, which you'll get to meet today. She's amazing. I'd like to introduce Dana, who's going to introduce Elsie. So, hello, Dana.
So one of our newest members at Rockaway Creates is Elsie Maio. She is a thought leader for NPR. She's been on many podcasts around the world. She is a business consultant, not only for big companies like IBM, but also for different countries. She lives right here in Rockaway. She's a yogi, an advanced practitioner, Reiki person. She's also a meditation leader, and she runs soulbranding.com. If you haven't met Elsie yet, we're so excited to introduce her to you. She's our friend. She is our business partner. She is our meditation friend. And welcome to the show, Elsie.
Thank you so much. I am thrilled to be here with you two. You two, if you allow me to say, wild women.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, it's a nice trio. And whenever I know, I'll just say this to introduce you, and from my eyes, is whenever I'm around you, I feel like anything is possible. And how come I didn't think of that? Like your ideas are always on point, really expansive. And also I get the feeling of like, ooh, that's edgy. I don't know how long I can keep listening because it really has me push like what's the next thing for me. So
Wow. Thank you. I love that. It's I hope to be that. I hope to live up to that.
amazing. So we're excited that you're one of our newest members. So I would say if you were to celebrate yourself or brag about yourself, what are you most proud of these days that you bring to the world, to Rockaway?
Wow. I just felt myself starting to cry. Most proud about myself. I guess it's resilience right now. And I think it's resilience. Yeah. So I mean that in a couple of ways. Our world is just wackadoodle, and I haven't gone insane yet. So that I consider an accomplishment to begin with, and resilience also because I've spent since 1999. I have dedicated my professional self to helping to align systems and institutions with the well-being of humanity. It made sense to me. I started out on Wall Street way back when, and then I went into management consulting. I was at McKinsey and Company. I was with other firms that pioneered in a field called corporate identity, which is basically helping the people who ran these big corporations figure out what's their vision and helping them reverse engineer to it. And frankly, it was really fun. And I came across a quote recently. I think it was Michael Meade who said it. And if anybody doesn't know who Michael Meade is, Meade, look him up and listen to what he's saying. He talks about the myths of our times. And I find him so generative. But one thing I think he said this, I think it was he, that the universe favors focus. And so one of the things, as I look back on my history, is I've helped leaders focus on what it is that they actually wanted. And when you are focused on that, when you are focused, it's kind of easy for things to fall into place. So getting back to resilience, the way things are going in our world, it's hard to focus on what's going on out there, that's worth trying to save. And so for me, I'm proud of this, that I've decided to focus on connecting with some kind of deeper wisdom that's that goes beyond what we're looking at in the world, some kind of deeper knowing and wisdom, and to facilitate that in other people. And so a lot of my work has shifted from this mental strategy stuff and to the ephemeral, to the stuff you cannot see in the real world, but in the deepest part of your being. And I feel confident that as humans, as we do that, we're going to find love. We are going to find our sense of humanity and the joy of watching each other thrive.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, as you talk about this, Elsie, I know that you have personally helped me in my life find that focus, find that expansive vision, and help me get there. There was one, I think it was even maybe at our vision board party with Rockaway Creates in December, that you invited me to have a vision for my future, and I completely got there, and that was going to Guatemala. And my life has completely pivoted from then to being in alignment with this life of service and being an embodied person. And I'm still, I'm still a student. I'm still working on it. It's still always in progress. But you definitely helped that course correct about 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago.
Thanks for saying that. I love being around you. I love being around you guys. I love being around Rockaway Creates because we all share, I'm going to call it a lust for life. I mean, there's a joy in beingness around you guys and what you create. And I also find that it's part of Rockaway. Like, we are immersed in this. I'm looking over my shoulder at the ocean. We are in the middle of this miracle of life with the Atlantic Ocean and its continuous, beautiful rejuvenation and aliveness. And then there's the bay on the other side. And then there's the ferry to the city. And in the middle here, there's so much entrepreneurship and creativity. I really enjoy that so much. And you two are a central kind of magnet for that. Also, you know how to have fun. And Dana, I will not forget that at one of the first things we did together, which was a singing group, like a cappella singing, you always find these fun things to do. And one of the things that you happened to, one of the byproduct benefits was you taught me how to put on eyelashes, fake eyelashes. Do you remember that?
I do.
She used to get so made up and like perfect makeup. And I remember some of the other women in this a cappella singing group, at one point we said, how do you do that with the eyelashes? So we had a special session where you taught us how to put on fake eyelashes.
Yep, you got to blow on the glue. That's the secret.
Well, you'll never know what you're going to get from Rockaway Creates. We have our fingers in a lot of things, and I think that's something really special. And so hearing you share about your work and the process you bring, it's like, it makes sense, because when you're working with people and their soul, we have many different experiences. It's not like, oh, I wear this hat, that's all I know about. And I love that you bring that front and center, like all the different facets, all the different hats, the talents, the resources. It's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's what I see around me here. But go ahead.
Well, so let's go back a little bit. I know that at some point you were in Brooklyn. When did you come to Rockaway, and how did that come to be?
Well, so let me go to a little origin story here. So I was brought up in Brooklyn, in Dyker Heights, and I spent my summers laying on the beach in Reese Park. And I got it down to the point where I could get there flat in 17 minutes on the belt.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I timed it because I had other things to do, right? But it was a priority to get on the beach. that was the days when I used to sunbathe. And those were the days when I'd be laying there and I'd know it was time to go, because at noon, the Concorde would fly over and you'd feel, the Concorde supersonic jet,
Yes.
and you would feel that vibration in your body laying on the sand. It was incredible. So anyway, I would get there for 9 and leave at 12. What was your question? I forgot. Oh, how did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Rockaway. I was living, right before I moved here, I was living in Long Island City in the PepsiCo building, in the Pepsi building, right on the East River facing the UN. Beautiful, beautiful. And I just felt so dry from the cement and the glass and the chrome. And, I wanted nature. And I saw some kind of flyer of a woman standing on the new boardwalk. This was in 2018 or 17 in November. And she was wearing white, and it said that she had come from Italy and moved to Rockaway. And I thought, well, if she's Italian, she must know something. And she actually came here to start a spiritual community. And I thought, wow, there's a spiritual community in Rockaway. This blew everything that I had an image of Rockaway with growing up, because that's not what I grew up knowing Rockaway as. Anyway, so I checked it out. And while I was standing on the boardwalk waiting for a real estate agent to show me an apartment, I'm looking at the ocean. This is in November. And I see 2 spouts. I said, no, wait a minute, I'm seeing things. It was 2 whales.
Wow, yeah.
Spouting. And I said, okay, I'm coming. That's how I got here.
I love it.
That was it. That was it.
Yep.
Well, you want so then I said, okay, as long as I'm here, so I Googled writers group, because I knew nobody here, nobody. And I just knew the whales, right? So I Googled writers group and I found Claire's writers group. And that, Dana, is how we met.
Yeah.
And that's how I met you. And I met Jay Shapp, who is now my collaborator in Reiki Together. Jay and I have a business called Reiki Together, where we provide Reiki together. 2 of us, 2 of you, simultaneously. And we do distance Reiki and also in person. So anyway, it was through Claire and that writers group that I met you all.
I love it. And do you go in the ocean? What's your relationship to the ocean?
No, I'm a petrified of the ocean.
I'm
a petrified of the ocean. I have had a shark phobia since I was 5, and I gave it to my sister. I used to tell her that sharks were coming out of the tub faucet.
Oh my God.
I know. No, I don't go in the ocean.
And where's your favorite place to hang out now? Like, is it like, where's your stomping ground? If somebody were coming to Rockaway and they would say, Elsie, take me where you go. Yeah.
Well, okay. So I do go out and I do walk on the beach after the sun goes down. I have to do that because I get skin problems if I'm in the sun. So that's one thing I love to do. I love to walk on the beach after the sun goes down. And I love to go to the Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge and walk that loop. I also, well, in the summer, I love to go to Brothers and Caracas. And you will find me dancing until they stop playing whenever Squid is playing at Caracas.
Oh, nice shout
I mean,
out.
to me, that is
crazy.
heaven. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's heaven. That's heaven for me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know, and if the library is doing anything, like, the Queen's Library opposite the police station, they've had art classes and things. And our friend Victoria Barber, I think she's also a member. She coordinates public programs, and she's had art instruction there. There is so much to do here. Like, this is one of the joys of being here. I've lived in places, I've lived in Manhattan, I've lived in Philly, I've lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico for 10 years. All really great, lovely places. This is the first time I felt like it was all manageable and that I actually could interface with the people who are running things. I mean, including, you know, if you go to a community board meeting, the police come and they tell you what's going on in the neighborhood. You know, I was never involved in civic things before. If you have a problem, like my tenant association is run by two women who volunteer their time to basically steward what's going on in our 3 buildings of 2,000 people. Volunteer. And you see the elected officials there, face to face. You know, it's one thing when you're face to face with them, telling them an issue or congratulating them on something, and you run into them in the neighborhood. There's a certain accountability that happens there, and a certain kind of collaboration that comes when you are community. And I've never had that in other places I've lived. I feel like people can hear me and I can contribute. And anybody who's listening to this is the thing about Rockaway. Everyone's accessible. Everyone is accessible. You know, I mean, I know the people and you know the people who, for example, started and run and maintain the Rockaway Theater Company. Susan Jasper, she's the force behind that. Entrepreneurs can really flourish here. The one thing that I would like, if you're going to ask me that, is I would like to see us articulate our vision for the Rockaway that we love, so that we're not reacting to institutions who propose to do things here and have to say no, yes, blah, blah. No, I would like us to have a point of view about what we love about Rockaway. And when I say we, I mean collectively. So that then they'll understand what they need to respond to before, you know, it starts. For example, there's an issue now with a landlord who wants to develop this property. And they develop the plans, and then we have to respond to it. I'd rather see us have a sense of self that the world knows about, so that we're going to magnetize institutions and developers that want to create that.
As a peninsula.
Well,
right?
I think that as a peninsula, there are some issues that we should have a singular point of view about, like climate change. Because as a peninsula, our infrastructure is shared. You know, the infrastructure goes out on any part of this peninsula, it's our shared fate. There are some issues like the hospital, you know, medical services or transportation that are peninsula-wide. And I think we should have a peninsula-wide point of view.
Yeah.
I know that we have different community boards and we have different representatives elected in different sections of the peninsula. But I would like to see us have a singular point of view about the essentials that our fate is connected by. And then there are neighborhoods, and that's, you know, neighborhood differences are part of what makes it also great. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, and you know, I want to add on, because I know I've heard you speak on some of the issues, but just what else do you think is important? You once spoke that I loved it, about the infrastructure and businesses here in the winter, and how we're viewed. You know, this summer everything's booming, but when the winter comes, it's nearly, I want to paint a nice picture, but it's a challenge to keep our businesses flourishing.
Yeah.
Especially if they need walk-in people.
Yeah. It's kind of like a mono-economic system here, and it's heavily dependent on the seasonal business, right? with a collective point of view about what we want to be, we could think about and start co-creating ways to supplement that. You know, one of my clients is, I'm not working with them now, but they are one of the kind of consequential island nations. And they had a very heavily monoculture, economic culture that was dependent on tourism. And they developed a supplement to that was year round. So part of what can make that possible is if you know who you are and what you want to be, then you could start to attract and explore what other kind of economic engine you might attract.
Yeah.
For example, I mean, one of the great things about the pandemic is it showed that you don't need to be physically somewhere to have an economy. You know, and think about the lifestyle here. I was in the city the other day at the memorial for a friend, and it was at this, I won't go into detail, I could, but I was talking to musicians, and they said, "Do you live?" I said, "Rockaway." They said, "Rockaway? How cool." And I thought, oh, I mean, you see, so there's a lifestyle thing about Rockaway that's happening out there, but we're not capitalizing on it as an asset. Like, we're not selling the thing that could magnetize more lifestyle activities. So what I'm saying is, if we had a consciousness that we want to even out our economy, you know, throughout the year, then we could start thinking about what do we want to cultivate. Why aren't we, for example, exploring being experts at dealing with the climate crisis in an urban coastal community? That's who we are. We're going to get swamped. Maybe we will anyway. But we have a vested interest in getting smart about that. There are other communities in the world that are grappling with this. Are we collaborating with them? Are we sharing information? You know, so our sense of who we are outside of just here, I think, is something that could start to open our creativity about what we can do.
Yeah. It makes me think about, you know, we started something a few years ago called Everywhere is Beautiful. And within Rockaway, you know, and whether it's, you know, trash cleanups, which I feel like are happening way more than they used to, and different neighborhoods, different blocks are really taking care of their own block, and there's a few new systems in place, but we still kind of lack this overall thing of like how to get involved with all the different things. Like everything's very hearsay, right? But looking around, whether you're in Arvern or Uptown or downtown, you know, there's opportunity for like beautiful art or beautiful murals or art installations. And I think that's something that I'm really passionate about. And I keep coming back to that, you know, like we have paint, we have people, we have ideas. We just need some permission for certain walls and certain places. And part of that is part of an overall tourism draw of, you know, let's go to Rockaway. It's so cool, you know, make it Instagrammable where people want to take their photo in front of a mural and put it out there and all of that type of, you know, I was just talking about someone, a business owner about that this morning, about how can we, you know, make Rockaway a destination year round and make sure that we have nice plants and nice shrubs and trees and lights and not so many potholes, and that when you walk down certain streets, it's well lit and you can see and it's fine, you know, and that's part of what I would like to see in this overall kind of bringing the peninsula together. Yeah, and it's about just connecting the dots together. And, you know, I know you're part of many different organizations. Are there any you'd like to mention or give a shout out to that maybe people can become aware of?
Yeah, well, it's something that I can turn you on to. I was at this conference on women in journalism a couple of years ago in Chicago, and they featured presentations of by groups that had knit together communities that had become separated. One part was gentrified, the other part was not, like that kind of thing. And they did it through an art program.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called something like My Street, because this one street ran through the whole varied neighborhoods, just like we have, by the way, Rockaway Beach Boulevard, right? And it was called My Street. And My Street to somebody at one end of the peninsula is not quite My Street at the other end. But this program they did in Chicago, I'll connect you with her,
Cool.
kind of elevated how art brought it together, is the bottom line. And
Right.
out of that came a whole journalism program and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'll connect you to her.
Cool. Thank you.
There are so many things. And I was really moved by this Michael Mead thing about the universe favors focus. If you have a focus that, is that others, you have a focus of unity, you have a focus of shared beautification. If others can share that focus with you, that's it. That's all you need. And boom, I know you as someone, and you too, Shane. You guys get things done. I mean, Dana, when I wanted to have this Reiki circle that we're doing, Sunday Sanctuary, I had a longing for Reiki community. And I thought, I'll do it myself. I haven't heard about one out there. And I knew you were the one that would make it happen with me. You make things happen. So why not? Why shouldn't something like that be an initiative?
By the way, the next one's December 7th at Beach 44th Street, Auburn East. If you haven't been there, it's a beautiful, amazing community center. We do many things there, whether it's Rockaway Creates or Sunday Sanctuary. We have a lot of events there. It's a beautiful place. Come and check it out. We have a donation-based Reiki circle once a month, the first Sunday of each month at 11:15 a.m. It goes until about 1 p.m. If you haven't tried Reiki before, come and experience it. You'll feel amazing. And we also have, with Rockaway Creates, we have a fall reset coming up, I believe on Sunday, November 23rd, also at Auburn East in the morning. So a couple of Sundays to look out for if you'd like to connect with community and do some healing, whether it's Reiki or yoga or meditation or dance. We'll be there.
Yeah, our nervous systems could use it. And, I also want to give a shout out to the Enchantress, because the other thing that I've been hungry for was a meditation group. Mm-hmm. I took my training for Reiki in the city. I'm in the city a lot. But here is home, and I want that here. I want everyone around me to have the benefit of that. And Shane has this Monday evening, which I guess you're going to do after this, meditation circle. It's so intimate. See, this is the other thing. We're so blessed here. We can walk to each other on our main street, which is the boardwalk. It's like Main Street, that boardwalk. And we could just walk and meditate together. I have had profound experiences at your meditations, Shane.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what's special about Rockaway. And my hope is that people hear you speak. And Dana, I'm so glad you brought in Everywhere is Beautiful. I forgot about it, because everyone has there's a lot of differences of, opinions here. But if there's a common denominator, nobody wants to look at a garden that has garbage in it. Like we all, I would even say this absolute. We all want things to look beautiful, no matter who we're voting for or what.
Yeah.
And I think if we start from there, which is why Rockaway Creates is such an important sentence, because it's ... We create beauty, we create connection, and we have so many different people focusing on different things. But the tie-in is that as creatives, we make things out of nothing. I wanted to meditate more. And as a leader, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Even if nobody shows up, I'm meditating. Check. Then I've done what I'm here for. And so, my hope from having you on and this podcast is that people get turned on to the idea that things are possible. There's not a lot of bureaucracy when it comes to creating, when it's about gathering. We have to get permission for walls, and there's grant money for gardens and stuff like that. But, I just got 300 daffodils because New York City had some kind of offering, and it caught my eye, and I filled out, daffodils, and I went to pick them up at Rise. And there's things like that all the time. So
Wow.
for anybody listening, like, don't wait for someone else to do it. You might say, I'm not that guy, but I'll go to Elsie, or I'll go to Shane or Dana. And, if it's something that we have a common interest in, we will take it on. So I want to really encourage people to think about living in a community, starting a committee. The idea guy is not always the action taker guy. And it's okay to have other people helping. And that's really what you're reminding me of.
I also want to give a shout out to our local newspapers.
Oh, yes, please do.
When you think about, if you have an idea or you want to know what's going on, that they really are. I know the Rockaway Times better than the Wave. I did attend a Wave editorial board meeting the other day, so I'm getting to know the Wave. But Rockaway Times is in my face. I mean, it's just everywhere. And whenever I go somewhere, Katie McFadden or somebody from them is there.
Yep.
And this is the accessibility to influence. You talked about if you want to do something, personal agency, it's like, it's right here. There's no difference between us doing something and you doing something, whoever you are. I would say I found open arms here when I came, like right away. There were Cammie Lee, and what she does with the parents of children who have autism. I went to the Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge. I saw they have space for an art exhibit. I said, do you want to have an artist who's like environmental? We put together a program with my friend from the city who's an environmental artist. And she brought someone to speak from the UN. I mean, things can happen here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of yes in this space, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm getting chills. It is exciting.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, a lot of yes. It's like yes.
Yeah.
And I also want to give a shout out to some other people here who are like Bridget and Claire and the other folks in the Civic Association, and also Barbara Buffalino and Karen Nevers, who hold our tenant association together and who have elevated the question of capacity, infrastructure capacity, when debating issues like real estate development. These are shared issues for all of us. And I did a study with my team of the capacity threshold of infrastructure in this particular corridor of the peninsula. And it's meant as a thought starter. Like, for example, how much capacity does our waste treatment plant actually have? How much more development can it sustain? It's already called Stinky Town down there. It is. The kids call it Stinky Town. Do you want me to keep going, or are we running out of time?
Yeah, this is great.
We're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. Other things, when we think about, so part of our being involved and having a sense of resilience and vision is knowing what's so. We need information. What about that Superfund site, which is now partly a parking lot for the hotel and partly kind of a blank space on 108, right opposite the ferry? Now, if you look at the official signs out there, National Grid owns it. And they inherited a Superfund site. When they bought it, it lost that designation. Oh, what happened? That a change of ownership actually made it not a toxic dump? So I'm just saying there are some questions. And as the groundwater rises, it's not just water coming over from the bay and the ocean. The groundwater is rising independent of storms. It's happening, right? As that happens, what is that pushing up that are toxic waste that's buried that no longer is safely contained because of that change? So I'm just saying there's a lot for us to discover and to bring our voice to the conversation in New York City, et cetera, so that we're not, we don't have things done to us that can't be undone.
There's a friend that all of us have in common, and we've all hosted things at his home. Our dear friend Sal, and that also has brought us together, right? Being able to have Sal be such a yes person in this beautiful community with his Yana house, You Are Never Alone, and the ability to just make things happen even more easily with the yes of him and his space and his generosity to the community and all that he brings as well. So just wanted to give him a little shout out as we're thanking people, and he's such a pillar in the community to help so many people.
Yeah.
There's huge civic spirit here, and it's entrepreneurial. That's the thing.
Well said.
This is an entrepreneurial place.
And speaking of homes, you have something new. I think it's a new event coming up that you shared about having an even more private and intimate Reiki gathering in your home.
Oh, yeah. So, it occurred to me as we're doing these Reiki circles that the Reiki practitioners at one point all stand behind the chairs of the participants who come to our Sunday sanctuary and say, "Would you like Reiki?" And they say yes. And then the practitioners give Reiki. And I thought, wait a minute, what about the practitioners getting Reiki too? So, so it's my intention to offer a monthly circle, Reiki for Reiki practitioners, where we do each other.
I love it.
And if there's anybody's interested in that, contact me or Rockaway Creates. I don't know how you want to handle that, ladies.
Yeah, we'll send people your way. Yeah. You know what I realized? What is Reiki? Some people may not know.
I like how Dana explains it.
I'll think back. Here's a bowl.
So, it's an individual experience. Everyone has different ways of receiving it, but it's beautiful transfer of energy from the universe, and it's intelligent and it's wise and it knows where to go. And as Reiki people or Reiki practitioners, we're not actually healing or doing anything. We're just allowing and opening the energy to come through us. And so it's a beautiful ancient wisdom, and it's been passed down from a very old lineage that we can learn from. It's essentially been an oral tradition that's been passed down over all these years. And it's a way to relax, meditate, feel good, and just receive energy. And I don't know, every time I say it differently. So if you want to add anything.
I have no idea how it works. That's what I will say. I have no idea how Reiki works. I know that I have been trained and received some special juju from my master teacher that I don't even know what it is. But I know that I feel it in my hands. And that when I either direct my hands toward the person or lightly place my hands on them, they feel something. And what they feel is good. That's what I know. And I know also the weirdest thing is that I've learned how I was trained, as Dana was, to give it at distance, which means, I was in Europe for a while last year, and I was giving Reiki to my friends there. And then I came back here and I learned how to give distance Reiki. And I think they're getting better results, like relief from chronic pain, that kind of thing, with distance Reiki than when I was there in person. I cannot explain it. I cannot explain a lot of things, but you should ask them.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching and maybe they have like chronic pain, or maybe they're like, I don't know, something's not feeling right, or maybe they're just like, I'm curious, I think that would be like, is there anything else to someone who's like, I don't know, these ladies seem cool. What, maybe I'll come to a Reiki session, but is it for me? What would they?
Come and check it out. Come to a Sunday sanctuary. First Sunday of every month. Go to Beach 44th. Get there 11:15. You don't have to bring money. We accept donations, and they are not necessary. If you are an adult, 18 or older, and not crazy, we welcome you.
Know how to be quiet.
I don't want anybody who's crazy. Sorry. What?
We have new people all the time, it's everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
And it's an hour and a half, it's a beautiful view. You might feel really good. Walk away feeling amazing and light, and maybe it's not for you. We welcome you to try it, and you can always reach out to any of us to find out more information. And it's the first Sunday of every month moving forward for the next year and all of 2026.
Well
so
said.
anytime you want to come experience it.
And I would say something that maybe people who are watching this right now and the rest of our podcast is, anything to do with Rockaway Creates, you're allowed to just be curious, and also to be like, I don't like this, I have to move over there. Like, we're very adaptable. We really help people figure out how it can work for them, or that we never get hurt feelings. People have left, I've seen during some of our classes, and then they come back for something else. There's really no way you could mess it up. If you're disruptive, you can't hurt anybody. You can't really disrupt the group. But if you know how to like take yourself out of a situation, there's always room for expansion with us. And I think it's really fun to be reminded of that when we have different guests on, where it's just like, come and check it out. Like you just said, Dana. And it really it's a place to open up and see, really, with curiosity. And everybody lives maybe 20-30 minutes, so you can be home with a new experience. And so we have this events like on the 23rd of November, which is a chance to taste test a lot of things around wellness and creativity, so that you can decide, ooh, I really like this, I want to come back on Sundays, or I really like meditation, I want to come back on Mondays, or I want to be a Reiki practitioner. And so we make sure to highlight our members in different events, so that so you can taste test it all and not feel like, I just lost 2 hours of my life. You might feel like it's the best thing you've ever done. It might change your life. And that's what we hope for. And that's what I hope for. My most vulnerable hope is that people come to something or meet someone from Rockaway Creates and it's just like, this is right here in my neighborhood.
Exactly.
That's been my experience of your events. It's shocking, the amazing people that live here. And, we can easily pass each other by in the supermarket, but at Rockaway Creates, it's kind of like a magnet for the entrepreneurs, the creatives, and mostly fun.
Yeah.
Like, what I really like is how much fun we have.
I love it. So let's close with that. Where, and it could be Rockaway Creates, but is there a specific event or a place where you can feel, I've seen you have fun? And so maybe you mentioned it already, but because it seems like, I want to talk about it again. Where do you have the most fun? Where have you had the most fun, or what are you looking forward to that's fun?
In Rockaway?
Yeah.
Well, I had a great time at your vision thing. You know, the vision thing that you did at the former beer place, whatever that place was.
Oh, that one.
That was
Event.
that was so much fun. It was a big space, and you had brought all these great materials, and they were laid out, and there was great music, and you also had a video machine where we made our own little like funny videos.
Yes.
And it was the vibe was great, and it was all about finding pictures in magazines that spoke to you and putting them down on this poster as this moves me, and this could be a representation of my vision for my future. It was so much fun, and I got to meet people because it was light, and you guys create a great environment.
Thank you.
And shout out to Materials for the Arts, where Dana and I and all members have
Access.
invite to go get as many materials, because it's a reuse center. So it saves these items, these magazines that would have otherwise been tossed in garbage.
Wow.
And so we are so lucky to be a member and to be a part of Materials for the Arts. And because whoever's a member gets to be our guest to go there and get free stuff.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
Now you know.
Yes.
And you can come.
Yes.
Also, the Vision Board Party is so much fun, and it's been such a success that now it's our annual holiday party. It's coming up on Wednesday, December 3rd at the Tiki Bar from 7 to 9 p.m. So start saving those magazines. I have a stack right over here.
Me too.
We got you. We got your back. We got the scissors. We got the paper. We got all the beautiful pictures. You just need to come and bring your visions and join us. That's a beautiful way. If you've been wanting to come to Rockaway Creates and you're not sure, the Vision Board Party is really fun. We do have music and probably a little bit of dancing. And we also have a party tomorrow.
We do.
Tomorrow night, Wednesday, is our Dia de los Muertos party, Day of the Dead party, which is also an annual event now for us. It's a potluck. It's a beautiful chance to gather, and we'll have face painting and connection. So check out our Facebook for more information about that. It's at Carolyn's house on 69th Street. The big pink house on 69th Street.
And anybody can attend. It's not members only. You know, bring your well-behaved children. And it's one of those things that, you know, when an event is so good, we have it every year. And this is one of them.
Elsie, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners and our viewers today about how people can get in touch with you, or any last words?
Well, if you want to get in touch with me, probably the best way is info@soulbranding.com. info@soulbranding.com. My last words is I am just so delighted to be here, to be part of what you do and who you are. I look forward to meeting more people, and I encourage anyone who's listening, to feel at home in this group. And if you don't have a vision to bring to the vision, you'll when you get there, believe me.
Amazing. Yes. Right. And so what Elsie's saying is just show the F up. Just show up. And you can even say, I don't even know what I'm doing here. But the idea is when you show up, it's the idea to trust that when you're in the right place, the right things will become magnetized to you.
Nice.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for showing up today. And it's always inspiring just to even hear ourselves. So you can imagine in a large group, that we know how to just, set the tone and then surrender as Rockaway residents that also want cool things to happen so that we love where we live and it becomes better and better. And there's always going to be things coming down the pike about us. But if we can create our own ideas and see them, in fruition, it's really miracles. Like, look at this podcast. Look at the name Rockaway Creates. Like, We are in an intention right now. And so that's what's possible here. And the natural accountability of being on the boardwalk. If you say you're going to do something and you see the person, you're like, well, I guess I got to do it because I'm seeing them all the time. It's like a built-in Sesame Street, So I'm totally inspired that we get to see each other. We have a main thoroughfare and we see each other again and again. And so it's like, let's take advantage of that. You could complain and sit home all winter, or you could take action. And that's what we're really excited about. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for getting high on inspiration with us, everybody watching. We had so many viewers, by the way, just so you know. I think it was the most ever live. And so everybody who tuned in, thank you for, dip your toes in this pool and go take an action, even if it's just to tell us this was great. Put a comment, share this, watch it again when you need inspiration. It's really important that we stay in momentum. And then maybe we'll see you Wednesday or tonight or Sunday in December for Reiki. And what else? Join our email list. Then you'll get all this information in your inbox.
All right.
Yay. All right. Let's dance it out.
Right.
Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.
Ciao.